Today on Global News Morning.
A crowded mayoral race in Winnipeg with a much smaller list vying for a seat on council. Why one political expert says fewer could be looking to take on that job. And a Winnipeg restaurant owner is sounding the alarm over petty crime. What he's seeing at his two businesses and how much he's had to spend fixing the damage. Plus, many Brandon residents are waking up under a boil water advisory this morning. What city officials are saying about a major break in the Wheat City.
You're watching Global Winnipeg. This is Global News Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It is 6 o'clock on your Tuesday. Bring in Kayla Evans. Bit of a tumultuous night last night. It seems like there was a lot of activity across southern Manitoba, and we are looking for any reports. You know, if you had damage on your property or any just significant weather, share those photos, share that video.
Yeah, we'd love to see those photos and videos for what you experienced yesterday in the morning and the first half of the day. It was the worst for those in the Southwest. We saw that as we moved through our show here. And then as we moved into the evening yesterday in my part of the city around 7:38 is when things really started. So maybe you may be a little bit tired this morning if the storms kept you up. Either on the good side of things, you loved them and you wanted to watch them, or the bad side of things, maybe you don't like the storms or you didn't need extra rain, or maybe you had some dogs that were a little bit scared of the storms. It's a little bit of a rough morning for some of us today.
Yeah, no kidding. Those pupperinos don't always love them. So let's talk about the weather. What can we expect today?
Well, it doesn't look like things are going to be quite as severe today, but it is still raining around the region, and we're still seeing some thunderstorm activity this morning with a chance of more as we do get through the day. More rain and more thunderstorms, but again, not looking as intense as yesterday's storm activity. It's also going to be slightly cooler, a lot of us sitting in the mid-20s, and we may not be done with the thunderstorm activity just yet. Tomorrow's looking pretty peaceful, but after that, we could be in store for even more storms, and I will have all those details still ahead. But for now, we're going to head outside and check in with our Tuesday morning commute through the OK Tire traffic update. Looking beautiful, a little stormy, but still gorgeous. That was the Gimli Pier, and back inside the city, fairly quiet from Confusion Corner Drinks and Food, Corridon and Pembina. And this is a look St. Anne's and Fermor from the Salisbury House.
Well, it may still be in the early stages of Winnipeg's mayoral race, but voters have a long list of candidates to choose from already. 6:30 on your Tuesday. You're watching Global News Morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at what's making headlines. An animal rescue group grounded after break-ins. Manitoba Underdogs vans have been vandalized. How hard it's hitting their community work. And a major increase in mosquitoes found with West Nile in this province. Our Corey Callahan is live breaking down the latest numbers. Plus, a Manitoba town recognized for its energetic residents. We're checking in with Pinawa at 7:20 to talk about their award for being active.
Well, we're still seeing a bit of rain around the region, and those rainfall totals from yesterday coming in. Quite a few communities being hit hard with localized flooding due to really heavy rainfall embedded within these thunderstorms, and there's a risk for more thunderstorm activity as we get through the day. So coming up, more details on what we saw and what we could see ahead. But for now, we're going to head outside and check in with our OK Tire traffic update. St. Anne's and Fermor from the Salisbury House starting to pick up, and pretty busy as well from Aquatech Pools and Spas, Dugald and Lage.
You're watching Global News Morning.
A Manitoba Animal Rescue says they have to put their work on hold after their vehicles were vandalized over the weekend.
Today on Global News Morning.
A Winnipeg restaurant owner sounding the alarm over petty crime. What he's seeing at his two businesses and how much he's had to spend repairing the damage. And a crowded mayoral race in Winnipeg with much smaller list vying for a seat on council. Why one political expert says fewer could be looking to take on the job. And a Manitoba town recognized for its energetic residents. We are checking in with Pinawa at 7:20 to talk about their award for being an active community.
You're watching Global Winnipeg. This is Global News Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. 7:01 on your Tuesday, bringing in Kayla Evans. So excited to hear from Pinawa right away here. 7:30 on your Tuesday. You are watching Global News Morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's take a look at what's making headlines. A string of seniors robbed in Winnipeg. What police are saying about the disturbing incidents in late July and August. And a major increase in mosquitoes found with West Nile in this province. Our Corey Callahan is live breaking down the latest numbers. Plus, concerns in Westman over harm reduction. We're checking in with advocates in Brandon at 8:20, what they're seeing when it comes to meth on city streets there.
Still lightly raining for some in the southeast corner this morning, with the chance of more showers, risk of more thunderstorms today, but not quite as intense, thankfully, as what we had over the last 12 hours or so, which you can see here on the satellite and radar. So coming up, more details on what we could potentially see today and tonight, as well as a look at some of the rain that's already been recorded across the province. But for now, we are going to head outside and take a look through our OK Tire traffic update. St. Anne's and Fermor from the Salisbury House looking good and pretty busy from Aquatech Pools and Spas, Dougal and Lajimodier.
You're watching Global News Morning.
If you're noticing more of a buzz in the air from mosquitoes, you are not alone. Numbers provided by the province continue to see an uptick in the pesky bugs. So let's bring in Global's Corey Callahan. He is live this morning with more. Good morning, Corey. You're out in the thick of it. Just saw a bunch of rain and you were outside this morning. Walk us through those latest numbers.
Today on Global News Morning.
A crowded mayoral race in Winnipeg with much smaller lists vying for a seat on council. Why one political expert says fewer could be looking to take on that job. And many Brandon residents are waking up under a boil water advisory this morning. What city officials are saying about a major water main break in the Wheat City. Plus, concerns in Westman over harm reduction. We're checking in with advocates in Brandon at 8:20, what they're seeing when it comes to meth on city streets.
You're watching Global Winnipeg. This is Global News Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. 8 o'clock on your Tuesday, bringing in Kayla Evans, because weather really is the story once again today, as it has been so many times over the winter and the spring and again during the summer. I'm just curious for the folks at home whether you feel 8:31 on your Tuesday. You are watching Global News Morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's take a look at what's making headlines. A major increase in mosquitoes found in this province. Our Corey Callahan is breaking down the latest numbers and has more on West Nile. And a Winnipeg restaurant owner sounding the alarm over petty crime. What he's seeing at his two businesses and how much he's had to spend repairing the damage. Plus, an animal rescue grounded after break-ins. Manitoba Underdogs vans have been vandalized. How hard it's hitting their community work.
Well, unofficial totals still continuing to come in from viewers, listeners, everybody around the region. A ton of rain here in the Winnipeg area, right downtown. One of the gauges there, just over 86 millimeters of rain. Headingley almost 80, 65 in Beausejour, almost 43 millimeters for those in Portage. And again, more totals rolling in with the potential of a bit more rain and the risk of thunderstorms in the forecast for today. So coming up, more details on what was and what could be. But for now, we're going to step back outside and check in with our OK Tire traffic update. Gimli Pier from the Gimli Lakeview Resort looking great. And back inside the city, puddles, but things are looking good as well. Confusion Corner Drinks and Food, Corydon and Pembina.
You're watching Global News Morning.
The annual rate of inflation dipped to 7.6% in July as lower gas prices took some of the heat off household budgets.
Much-needed upgrades for Winnipeg's North End sewage treatment plant.
Today's announcement has been a long time coming.
Hundreds of millions in funding from 3 levels of government. What it means to the health of our rivers and lakes. Downpour details. Tallying the totals after a restless night of rain. Also tonight, showing kids from Ukraine she's got their back.
Every backpack that I made, I feel like I have a connection to them.
Stocking supplies for hundreds of refugee children in Manitoba.
This is Global News Winnipeg. Global News at 6 starts now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Winnipeg's North End sewage treatment plant is another step closer to getting much needed upgrades thanks to funding from all three levels of government today. Tonight on Global News at 10, moving forward, phase 2 of upgrades to the North End wastewater treatment plant finally get underway. What the improvements could mean for Manitoba waterways.
Also tonight, back to the books. One Manitoba woman's efforts to help Ukrainian newcomers start school in a new country. And alarming allegations. The prominent figure named in a class action lawsuit against several members of a Quebec Catholic church accused of sexual assault.
You're watching Global Winnipeg. This is Global News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. It's been a process, years in the making, and now the city of Winnipeg finally moving ahead with phase 2 of upgrades to the North End sewage treatment plant.
This following an announcement from all three levels of government earlier today. Together, they're earmarking more than $550 million towards the project.